I, Carolyn Stevens. There's no doubt that leading a virtual team member is different from leading a co-located direct report. The lack of day-to-day contact and interaction magnifies the challenges of leadership. But you don't need to rely on costly trial and error to get it right. You can overcome the tyranny of distance by applying these 4 pivotal keys to success. Key number 1 is take extra steps to cultivate trust. Charles Handy, the Irish organisational behavioural specialist, said this: "If we are to enjoy the efficiencies and other benefits of the virtual organisation, we will have to discover how to run organisations more on trust than on control. Virtuality requires trust to make it work." So, how do we develop trust? By getting to know a person and vice versa. Firstly, frequent interactions build affinity, as do face-to-face meetings. Have as many as is practical. And secondly, opportunities for social warmth are important, so invest time in chit-chat, check in personally before moving on to the work stuff. These things all build trust. But what really gets things moving is having genuinely authentic conversations. What about you up the opportunity for candour and personal sharing by asking questions like, what's something you're pretty chuffed about at the moment? And then, what's something that's concerning you? Then you reciprocate the sentiments. And key number 2 is create a strong sense of team. Relationships need to be actively fostered in virtual teams. They don't naturally occur as they do when you're co-located. Maximising team member interactions with each other will boost cooperation and help suppress a sense of isolation. Have regular team virtual meetings. Once a week is seen by most as the ideal. Use your meetings to celebrate successes and have each team member share where they think they're most on track and where they'd like to be more on track and what support they'd find useful. Also, have regular team face-to-face meetings. Twice a year minimum is a rule of thumb. Have the team agree on the team's purpose, goals and strategies. Members of teams need more than a clear understanding of their own roles. High-performing teams also have clarity around the team's purpose, goals and strategies. And because of the extra complexity distance adds, having an agreed purpose, goals and strategies is even more crucial for virtual teams. Key number 3 is develop a working agreement. Almost as important as the question of what are the team members and the team's targeted outcomes is the question of how goals will be achieved. That is, how you'll work together. You and each of your virtual team members need to have full alignment of your expectations of each other to prevent disappointment or conflict around the corner. I think of it as a working agreement that addresses things such as hours of work and accessibility, theirs and yours. This includes how you'll equitably manage time zone differences, if that's relevant for you. It's not okay that one person is always the one to get up at 4 a.m. Email guidelines. Agree response times. Agree CC protocols. Agree no one-line responses, that is, include softeners in your emails. Agree when to email, when to ring. And a tip there is to ring when you want to nip potential misunderstandings in the bud. Meeting arrangements. When you'll have virtual and face-to-face meetings, both one-on-one and with your full team. And also technologies for virtual meetings and locations for face-to-face meetings. Cultural norms, if that's relevant for you. What are they and how will you capitalise on your cultural diversity? And key number 4, most importantly, communicate, communicate, and communicate. Communication is the lifeblood for leading virtual team members. Communication, authentic communication, is at the heart of our effective relationships, especially the virtual ones, and effective relationships are at the heart of effective performance. When you're separated from your team member by distance, these two communication habits are crucial. The first one is communicate consistently and reliably with your team member. Have a schedule for one-on-one phone and face-to-face meetings. If you haven't already got them into your diaries, get them in there and stick to them. When your team member's not working in the same office, it's even more important not to have them feel bumped by something more important. Secondly, go all out to have them feel valued and respected by you. Changing scheduled meetings with them, particularly at the last minute, tends to fly in the face of enhancing the team member's sense of feeling valued and respected by you. And communicate your appreciation of their work and their efforts. I can't tell you how much your direct reports appreciate your appreciation. I can tell you it's way more than you imagine it is. Here's where the rubber hits the road. What will you do or say to accelerate the trust in your virtual team member relationships? And what more could you do to foster the relationships amongst your virtual team members and create a greater sense of team? And ask yourself, do you need to create or clarify your agreements with your virtual team members on how you'll work together? And also ask yourself, what more will you do on the communication front to create more authentic communications and/or help your virtual team members feel highly valued and respected by you? I'm interested to know what you think of these 4 pivotal keys to success with virtual team members. As always, keep me posted on your thinking.